What's happening there, YouTube? This is Skag Guy 4014 reporting in on the Week 5 Dallas Cowboys and the 44-20 route that they just put on for us. I know it's been a while. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, but I wanted to give my thoughts on the first 5 weeks of the season so far. I've been watching, but I just haven't remembered to do any videos or had really any time. But now that I'm in the car on the way home on this fine Sunday night, that I had some time. I liked what I saw tonight. The defense really put a hurting on the Giants. I know the Giants had some injuries, and Daniel Jones went out early, and Saquon Barkley went down early with a knee injury. Daniel Jones got concussed, actually. That was a pretty nasty hit. But the Cowboys, the first 5 weeks of the season, I mean, other than the Week 1 loss against Tampa Bay, which if Zerline had been able to kick those couple of field goals, I do believe we would have won that game. But I digress. The offense really has looked so good so far this year. I mean, everything's really clicking. Dak came back the first game, hadn't played in 11 months or whatever. He has looked just amazing for the first 5 weeks. I mean, he still made a couple mistakes. He threw an early interception that was really just a great play by Carter for the Giants. That was really just a really good job by him on that interception. But other than that, I mean, Dak has really played just lights out the first 5 weeks so far. Ezekiel Elliott has looked 100 times better than last year, and Tony Pollard has looked really good as well in tandem. The Zeke Pollard running attack is dangerous. I like how we got Dalton Schultz involved, and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, along with there's a couple other wide receivers. Their names are just escape me right now, but the offense looks really good, and it is just leaps and bounds from what it was last year, especially with Dak being healthy and Ezekiel Elliott being able to having a better performance, and the O-line doing its job, and so on and so forth. The defense, though, I have to applaud. The defense is just, I mean, it's a completely different team than it was last year. I know I said earlier in the year I wasn't comfortable with the Dan Quinn hire, but Dan Quinn really is back in his element, being a DC rather than an HC. Dan Quinn is just not head coaching material. The world saw that in Atlanta. He could be a head coach, but after what transpired in Atlanta, he needs to stay as a defensive coordinator. He's good at that. He's comfortable in that position. But the defense, I mean, it looks like a completely different team. They have had a few moments where it was a little shaky. The Chargers game especially was a little shaky on the defense, but the Chargers, granted, are a good team, and they actually won a shootout today in Cleveland, 47-42. That was an amazing game. But what's really great about the offense this year, I'm going to touch on that a little bit more, is Dak is actually taking shots down the field and connecting on these passes that are longer than about 6 yards that they did a lot last year when Dak wasn't hurt. There was a lot of just this little dinking and dunking last year early on in the season, and that just wasn't getting it done. And now Dak is really, I've noticed this year, taking shots, throwing the deep ball, stuff like that, really connecting on these 20-yard throws that we just didn't see last year. Let me think. Oh, Trayvon Diggs. Holy shit, what a great player. I mean, he has played lights out the whole season. I mean, he's leading the NFL in interceptions. I mean, he has been just a godsend. I loved it last week when we had the pick six against Philly, and that he caught and returned. He had both the interceptions in that game, and then props to Anthony Brown on his pick six late in the game tonight. The game was already in hand, but to really put a cherry on top of tonight's proverbial just ass whooping of the Giants tonight. That was just put a nice cherry on top of the victory Sunday. Anyway, just to kind of wrap this up, I mean, they are looking good. And I'm hoping, I don't want to jinx anything, but, I mean, being 4-1, they're in the lead for the division. The football team lost today. The Eagles actually shockingly won their game today, but they're like 2-2 or something like that, or whatever. They might be. Let me think. They might be 2-3, but I'd have to go back and look. But it's coming along. I mean, it's amazing what can happen over the off season and one season later. I mean, Dak got healthy, and he is just a completely different player from last year, and it's really showing on the field and in his performance. Zeke got hurt a little bit tonight in the third quarter. That was a little scary, but he ended up coming back and getting a touchdown in, and the touchdown that pretty much put the game away midway through the fourth or early in the fourth. But anyway, I was really impressed with tonight's performance. The ass whooping that was the Eagles game on Monday Night Football was also quality, and then the beating the Chargers was also excellent. That was a fun game to watch. So let me see. 4-1, beat the Chargers, beat the Eagles, beat the Giants. What was the fourth game? It'll come to me in a minute. Oh, the Panthers. They beat the Panthers last week. That was a quality win. The defense kind of let up in the fourth on that game and made the score 28-36 or whatever, but the game was already in hand at that point. But like I said, really looking good this year. It's really been impressive, because I'll level with you guys on it. I was not expecting really much of anything after the off season we had, because other than the Micah Parsons pickup in the draft, I truly was not very excited for this season, because it looked early on like they weren't really making enough moves or whatever, and then they cut Jalen Smith, which was really weird. I have really no words on that to really tell you how I feel, other than I just don't know. I'm kind of it could go either way for me. I thought Jalen was looking pretty good so far this year, but I mean, I could be completely wrong on that. But anyway, just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Anyway, it was a really good game tonight, good performance. All around, everything really clicked. Except it was a slow start, but after about the first, beginning of the game, jitters got out. The offense was rolling and the train was coming down the track at that point. But overall, in my opinion, it was a fun game. I got to watch pretty much the whole thing from about midway through the second quarter all the way to the end, and I got to eat barbecue and hang out with the girlfriend and all that, so it was a good night. anyway, just let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments, and feel free to converse on there and all that jazz. So anyway, we'll catch up next week again. Go Cowboys.